Welcome to this video. Today I have 3 more stories of people who experienced themselves dying but then didn't die. What's very interesting is the differences between the second and the third stories. I can already spoil a little bit. Both died in a car crash, but still, even though that was the same, their experiences still were completely different. So I believe we must reconsider our thoughts about reincarnation. If you haven't watched my video that should be named something like Death Isn't the End, at least that is the thumbnail, please pause this video, go to my death series playlist and watch that first, because in that I will give you all of the explanations, and this is just more testimonials based on that video. But now enjoy. I died last night, but I'm still here. So this actually happened last week. It just took me some time to come to terms with it. I got a phone call from my next door neighbor late in the evening asking if I can help him move a mattress into his upstairs. His mom is ill and has a big heavy sleep number bed. I of course ran over to help because they are great neighbors. I get over there and his friend, who is also a priest, was there to help. I helped him figure out how to separate the mattresses from the bed so we could fit it upstairs. We get it all moved up and back in place, where my neighbor asked if I can help them move an armchair upstairs too. I think nothing of it, and we pull it out of his travel trailer and start bringing it up of his house. This is where I died. The front stairs are 11 steps. I was on the lower end of the armoire, about 6 steps up, when my neighbor and his friend lose a handle on the armoire and it comes crashing down on me and I fall backwards towards the pavement. I then wake up in my dining room to my phone ringing and my wife asking me if I'm going to answer the phone. It is my neighbor asking me if I can help move a bed upstairs for his mom. I go over there and meet his priest friend again, as this has been the first time I met him. I say, I can help with the bed, but I cannot help with the armoire. My neighbor was like, how do you know about the armoire? I then proceeded to tell them, I'm pretty sure I just died. I spent the next hour talking with the priest. He had so many questions. My neighbor didn't believe it until I described the upstairs bedroom in perfect detail, down to the metal mattress frame on the floor and the intricate headboard leaning against the wall, and I had never been upstairs in their house before. The priest asked me what I saw after I died. I told him I never actually died. Before it happened, I woke up at my dining room table. I experienced my death, but I woke up alive about 20 minutes earlier in my life. As I've mentioned in the last videos, Neville said that we would go back to when we're 20. I think that was just an example he was giving. Here someone just went back about 20 minutes. In my video, Death is Not the End, I do explain that in way more detail. So make sure to watch it. You will find it in the Death series playlist. But let's do another one. After a fresh light, I was turning onto a ramp and started to accelerate from around 40 miles per hour to about 70 miles per hour to merge with the high-speed traffic on the expressway. As soon as I touched the gas, my car swung around and I started drifting across 4 lanes of 70 miles per hour rainy traffic, facing the cars, as my car was not facing backwards, sliding everywhere. I remember one guy giving me the finger as he flew past me. Then I remember a horrible crunching, wrenching sound, and suddenly my car was moving back the other way toward the bridge side over the highway I just turned off. As my car slid back across traffic, I was sure I was gonna slam into the bridge side and on the road below. When I got the point where that would happen, there was another huge slamming, crunching, and then suddenly I was just stalled out on the ramp. Like I had driven up into the highway and stalled, stopped in the breakdown lane on the bridge as soon as I got up there. I got out and looked at my car from all angles, and there wasn't a scratch or dent or any evidence of what just happened. I remember there being a horrible explosive type of collision twice, but nothing. I just smoked a cigarette in the on-ramp breakdown lane, called my parents and told them I loved them, then went on my first date with my future wife. It was my weirdest experience. Oh my god, the date with his future wife. Isn't that absolutely amazing? That is a great second chance, isn't it? But let's do another one. Could I be dead? When I was 14, I was in a very bad car wreck. The guy driving was racing another car on a dirt road. We came around a curve and lost control. The car started spinning and then began flipping over and over down the road. When we first started to spin, something inside me said, okay, this is it. You are about to die. Everything was going in slow motion, and I cannot believe, looking back, that I was so brave. There was no fear at all, and I was a fearful child growing up in an abusive home. All I could think was, please take care of my parents. They are going to need you. It was never a question of if I might live or asking to live. I just knew I would not and wanted God to watch over them. Suddenly I was standing in the road watching the car flip down the road, and I could see myself in the car. I could see myself from both perspectives. It was instant peace and a feeling I can never put into words. I was talking to God, though there were no words being said. It was more like communicating by thoughts. He was telling me everything was okay, and I felt nothing but love and at peace. There was no worry, no pain. Suddenly I was back to just being in the car without a scratch on me. I climbed out of the car with a strange feeling I could never get the courage to tell anyone about. The car was smashed to nothing. It didn't look as if anyone could have just climbed out. It had landed upside down, and no doors were able to be opened, and all windows were smashed out. I am unsure as to how I was able to get out. I cannot remember crawling out. A person stopped and cried over and over, "Wow, it is unbelievable anyone gotten out of that car not hurt." Those words ring in my ear and give me the same weird feeling today. I was different after that. I am 35 now, and I began my spiritual awakening at 29. I am still on it and still experiencing just as many wild spiritual experiences as ever. For a while now, the universe keeps bringing that wreck back to my attention. I had been avoiding it for a bit because, to be honest, it felt like I was being led to the understanding that I had died that day and still was dead. It made my psyche feel on the brink of breaking. There were so many signs, dreams, weird letters from people mentioning it. I finally opened up to my fiancé about it last night, and he too said that spirit keeps bringing it to his attention as well, and he dwells on the memory I shared often because he gets reminded so often. He also makes me feel like he's trying to help me reach some understanding, as if he knows the answers already. He says he does not, but each time I reach a deeper insight on it, he is so proud and says, "Yes, exactly." Like he is proud I have finally gotten there. He has been this way with me since we began dating. I opened up about all the signs and I started crying uncontrollably, and he comforted me. While talking, songs came back to back about someone being dead and not knowing it. I have never heard a song like that, but suddenly last night they played 7 of them back to back, and they all were the year 2002, the year of my wreck. I began shaking uncontrollably like I have never experienced. Today I wake up and in my email is a book called Why Some Spirits Do Not Know They Have Passed. I read the whole book today. It explained that dying was just like I had experienced it, and so we forgot we are dead. I feel so wild, the thoughts seem wild. Could I be dead? So okay, that was the last story for today. There will be more to come, and this one is a bit different, isn't it? In the last stories we had somebody who all of a sudden jumped back in time a little bit. For him it was more like the accident did happen, the car was a wreck. In the story before, it was the exact opposite. That car didn't have a scratch, a dent, anything. And this guy, his car is wrecked and he is completely fine. How did that happen? I don't know. But then if this is really just an illusion, if this is just a hologram, then why should that not be possible in some kind of way? But to the answer, is he dead? Well, I'm sure in some timelines, yes, he did die that moment. But I don't think that this now is his afterlife. Well, maybe it is. It is another life. It is his life after the accident. But I don't think that he is now a spirit, a ghost, just imagining it to be alive. I mean, technically, yes, I do think it is like that with all of us. If consciousness is the only thing that's real, then we do live in a dream that is a dream. But I wanted to read that story because it is somewhat different from the ones before. And if you have any thoughts or experienced something similar, please leave your comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe because there will be more of these stories to come. And I still have the biggest one, the most fascinating one for me. That will be a single video because that one is actually quite long. And of course there will be still more on this death series. And I do hope I see you there. I do hope I see you in personal coaching. I appreciate everybody liking, subscribing, leaving your comments, and Thank you to everybody who is watching my videos, and check out the entire death playlist or my other law of assumption manifesting playlist. I see you there, or personal coaching. Until then, of course, I do wish you all the best now. Bye bye.